Hey, and welcome to Georgia, folks. New country, new film. That was crazy getting in there, wasn't it?
Oh God, it was madness. Two Polish motorcyclists pushed in front of us, but as we didn't know where we were going, it was great, and they led us through. And but madness, absolute madness.
Crazy. And that's one of the coolest border crossing buildings there is up there. Doesn't need a lick of paint though, but let's go and see what Georgia's got to offer. Back in Europe, folks. Back in Europe. Haven't even got past the queue of lorries for the border and check out this sculpture. Folks, that was Batumi. As you know, we just don't normally film in cities when we have a break. We've had 5-6 days here doing films and blogs and looking around the city, and did film an ounce of it, but there's some nice pictures on the blog. But we're off for a little ride today to the Botanic Gardens to have a look around there before we head back into the mine. So let's go, Deb. Well folks, we've come to the Batumi Botanic Garden for a day off the bikes. Only a 6-mile ride to get here, and we're heading that direction afterwards tomorrow morning. But for now we're going to enjoy these views because these are pretty nice. Look at this, folks. Nice, Debs, there.
It's really nice. My mum keeps saying you're on holiday, and on days like this I really do feel like I'm on holiday.
Look at this. I hope I don't drop the GoPro. Looks alright, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
We haven't done much filming about the Botanic Garden because we're just having a day off, but we'll be back to normal tomorrow and we'll show you some more of Georgia. Lots more Soviet mosaics and monuments, I'm sure. But for now, we're going to keep sweating in the Botanic Garden.
And it's full of trees.
It's full of trees.
Yeah.
So on the way up the hill, to avoid a tunnel, pinned on a Google Maps is this abandoned mansion. This guy's mansion, I can't remember his name, but look at this. Hey, well folks, that's it. We've left the Black Sea behind and we've turned east, heading inland towards Tbilisi, into the hills. I don't know whether you'll see them on the GoPro, but some pretty impressive hills in Georgia. But on the way, we're going to call in and see quite a few Soviet mosaics because I do like them. So I've done a bit of research and we're going here, there and everywhere to see some quite obscure ones. So hopefully they'll still be there, but we shall find out. Here she comes. All right, Debs, the brambles are coming out, look.
Wow, I just noticed those. Fantastic.
Must be getting late in the season.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Hot enough for you?
I was determined to come across as cheerful on the film. I'm quite cheerful normally. So yeah, okay. It's been a hard start.
Humidity, innit? It's not only is it hot, but it's really humid, which obviously makes you sweat loads. But
on the flat it's not so bad, and even a normal climb it's not so bad, but we did a stupid climb.
Stupid climb. Let's go and see. We're on the dirt now, so let's go and check it out. Come on, Debs. Let's go. So we're in proper ex-Soviet territory here. It's sort of got a weird air of dereliction. Strange, the buildings like, but also it's going to be the first of our mosaics coming up soon. So let's go and have a look at some of these buildings and hopefully quite a nice mosaic. Let's go. Look at that building over there. Oh, hello, hello. Hello, hello. And here it is, folks. Check this out. It's an old bus stop. And here's mosaic number 2, folks, another bus stop. Oh, that's a better one. And then we've got what looks like an old theatre. Look at this. Here's the next one for you folks, number, I think it's 3, I've lost count already. Now this used to be a sports school, I don't know what it is now, but check this out. It's pretty nice though. Hey, now this is a good one for you folks. An old factory. An old clay processing factory or something, I'm not sure, but check this out. It looks stunning. Wow, that is something else. Proper extinct Soviet era stuff, that. So I just saw this derelict building here, and we'll have a ride by. There's this like giant statue of a bloke inside. I don't know whether it's an art installation or what, but look at this place, man. Well, climbing up this massive hill, in the middle of the countryside, we come across a random church. Is it open? Yes, it's open. Let's go and have a look. There he is, Mr. Jesus, I think. Wow, what a lovely shape. And look at that carving above the door. Beautiful. Moment of truth. There is a lock, so maybe it's locked. It's locked. Oh, what a shame, because it looks something else. Look at that. Hopefully you can make that out without too much reflection. I can't get the camera close enough. Hey, so here's the next bus stop for your peeps, and this is a beauty. Again, a bit dilapidated, but it looks better on the other side. Wow, they may be trying to restore it, although there is bits of mosaic on the floor. And the cows obviously like it. Look at this. And then round the back here. Oh, it's closed off that side, but there's something on there. It looks to be a decidedly sketchy restoration job. Mosaic all over the floor. And like, so fragile. They're kind of like bodging it in. I don't know what they're doing, but fair play at least to trying something. I don't know what it is. Let's have a look round the back end. I don't know how you get onto the football pitch to see the other one. Here's the gate. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. I find that really beautiful, but I don't know, it's not to everyone's taste, I'm sure, but I find that really lovely. But look at all these pieces. Original pieces of Soviet mosaic. They don't make them like they used to, Debs. And there it is. Hopefully they'll do something with it. Fair play to them for having a go. I did like that one though, I did like that one. Farming theme. Hey, so we're War Memorial this time, Second World War Memorial. And this looks like it needs a bit of TLC, but I don't know, kind of adds to character. What do you reckon? Let's go and get a closer look. I mean, one thing that is amazing, it's all these wild eryngiums. Look at these. Look at all these poor buggers. Died for freedom, died for the country. A lot of them are missing now. Soviet hammer and sickle up there. What do you reckon, Debs?
Just
a waste. Look at all those young men.
No. He looks happy too.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have led a big life, couldn't you, mate? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced they didn't want to waste their youth fighting and give up their life.
For the Hitler, wasn't it?
Not quite that simple, but yeah. Better today than yesterday, which is good, but ready to end the day. Tom's looking at a war memorial, which is very sad. And I'm just resting under the tree with a little bit of breeze and some shade. That'll do for me.
Hey, morning folks. So we're just stopping at Grandmother Naziko's guest house, which is rather beautiful. And look at the view from the end of the street. This is Georgia. Look at that, people. Green, green mountains. And I've just come to show you this archaeological museum, because I've just been around this museum. I didn't bring the GoPro, so you'll have to look at the blog to see the pictures. But I think it could be the third best museum we've been to in 4 years around the world. I think Lady of Cow in Peru tops it as number one. The Mineral Museum in Lima is another one, but this one comes in a strong third place. Do look at the blog, the pictures, just come, it's bloody amazing. But the Vani Archaeological Museum, look at it. But I haven't yet been over the bridge to see the site, because most of it's about all the ancient cities that used to be here. And inside the museums, all the relics that they've dug up. But you can go across this wobbly bridge to see the site where they found it all. So let's go and have a look. But yeah, come to that. That is insane. European Museum of the Year at some point it was. Here we go. Not too wobbly at all, really. Didn't get in the middle. Oh yeah. Look at that though. One of the best things about the museum was the way that it displayed the objects. I mean, anybody who's designing a museum should go and have a look at that, because the way they used light, mirrors, just fantastic. And I love what they've done at this bit. They've obviously stuck a road through this, and I think this was the entrance, the gateway to the city. But they've now built this lovely shelter to protect the archaeology and stuck a lovely window in the top skylight for the road. Look at this. Isn't that a beautiful bit of design? Shame they've ploughed through the gateway, but such is life. Hey, morning folks. Well, we're leaving the lovely town of Vani, this beautiful archaeology museum, and taking a detour from some local advice. We've heard about a town, can't pronounce it, begins with a T. I'll put it up there, but it's an old Soviet spy town with loads of sanatoriums, derelict sanatoriums you can go around, including Stalin's bathhouse. So to get there we've got to go through the city of Kutaisi, which we hadn't planned on doing, but we always like to follow the local advice, peeps, so let's go. Randomly coming along the road and you get this. Well, we're not going this way. I think the irrigation being opened up flooded the underpass. We'll have to find another way around. So I think there might be another mural around the corner for you folks. Yep. folks, so here we are at the town beginning with T I can't pronounce, and the first of the sanatoriums is metallurgy or something, and this is the entrance here. You can tell it was once quite grand, but now got a feel of abandonment. You're quite excited, Debs?
I am, yeah.
I'm very excited. Let's go. Hello.
Sanatorium Metallurg, privat 5 lakh.
Конца лежать, фото там, потом сюда и...
Perfect. Madloba. Well, it's been cracking so far. Those 2 huge sanatoriums, and there's a big one still to come, but in the meantime, this is the one I was really looking forward to. It's only small, but it's Stalin's bathhouse, and the architecture, well, I'll let you see for yourself. Here we go, look at this. Oh. That doesn't disappoint. That doesn't disappoint at all. Right folks, it's 6:30. We've done a few sanatoriums, but I think we might have saved the best till last. This is Sanatorium Media, and it is very grand. People come here to have their wedding pictures taken. And Debs, how's it looking?
Very, very nice. I wish it was open because I could do with a sanatorium right now.
Look at this, folks. And
It
look,
actually looks fantastic.
and these visitors look like they're leaving, so we might have the place to ourselves, which is what we always like, innit? Well, Deb, what do you reckon to Sanatorium Media?
Oh God, absolutely.
absolutely beautiful but heartbreaking to see it go into rack and ruin.
Well folks, there it goes, the town beginning with a T that I can't pronounce. Tskaltubo, I don't know, but if you're a fan of urban exploration, well worth the visit. I mean, you could spend 3 or 4 days here. So many derelict buildings, but don't leave it too long because some of them are getting brought up to be renovated back to hotels, which is good. But now, heading into the hills to see some monasteries. And I'm in the wrong gear. There we go, the roll-off hub. Change it anytime. Here we go, hang on, there we go. Yeah, we're off up in the hills to see some hermitages and churches and hopefully slightly cooler temperatures. Let's go. Look at all these flowers. But before we go back to the hills, we're back to Kutaisi to see a couple more things. We've got another Soviet monument, a mural and a fountain. So let's go and have a look. Okay, so here's number one, this trees mural. What do you reckon, Debs?
Fantastic.
Go and have a closer look. Here's the next one, and I think this is Soviet. Look at this. That was a bit hairy, but I think I got it for you.
Oh, brilliant.
Like being in Italy or something. Crazy roundabout this. Morning folks. Well, big coal mining area here, and here's a nice little monument, like is it a Davy lamp they call it? The lamps they used. Come to see the Katskhi pillar, which is a big limestone pillar with a little hermitage on the top where a monk lives. And there it is. Look at that. That's all right, isn't it?
Ooh. You're not going to make me wild camp up there.
Well, we could camp here, Debs.
No water.
Yeah, that'll do for me. Yeah. I'm not even going to go up and close and see it because the road is like, it says 12%, but it's got to be 20%. It was steep, but we'll get a picture and that'll do us. Come to the town of Chiatura, and one of the first things to see on the way is the War Memorial, which stands in front of these rather typically run down looking high-rise apartments, but check out the size of this. Now that is what I call a war memorial. Look at that. Bit like being back in La Paz. We're going on the cable cars. So Chiatura, this town, it's like built in a canyon, as you can see. Look at the surrounds. Big mining town. A lot of iron ore and manganese mined here, and the Soviets, to get the miners, because the mines were at the top, built these cable car system. Much of which, well, all of which is now fallen into disuse, but last few years they've built these new ones. So let's go and have a look. So we're leaving Chiatura, the town of the cable cars. Very nice town it was too. Well worth coming for a bit of ex-Soviet grandeur. Another bus stop for you folks. That one has actually been restored. Well, if you're not tired of them already, here's another one. This is an old gas station. Look at this charming mosaic. It's got to be one of the best ones, that. Just like a garage petrol station. Think of why they've done all that. They must have been very proud of it at the time.
Really quite thought-provoking here. These statues are representing the wounded soldiers, you know, what actually happens to them in these violent conflicts. And wow, really quite weird. Top of his head missing and both arms, but then he sat there quite happy with his hands on his knees. Yeah, head and arms again. God, this chap's not done so well. Both arms, head and legs. I kind of really like it. It's quite unsettling. You've got these guys at the peak of their fitness. And they're all sat at the foot of the castle. So in Georgia, there's lots of what's called homestays, somebody's house, and they have a couple of rooms and put you up. We arrived here about half an hour ago, just had a great massive spread of food, mainly homegrown stuff in this garden. Oh. Wow. I don't think Tom is going to want to leave. We've got the grapes, so vines grown everywhere. Obviously we've got the red and white wine to try. So much.
Wow.
Oh. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
Deb's taken the new bridge, I've taken the old bridge. Alright, Debs. Hey, Ricky. Teacher. Yeah.
Tom said we were going over a bridge of death, and from the underneath and the outsides it looks dreadful, but actually, yeah, no, I'd cross this.
Well, that was a lovely town. Last stop before Tbilisi. Stopped here last night to get a hotel and get cleaned up. And the church, I mean the town, it begins with MT. I'll put it up, I can't pronounce it. But we just went for a wander without the GoPro, not expecting to see much in this church. And this church blew our minds. I'll put some pictures up and have a look at the blog. It was stunning. Well worth a visit if you come into this part of the world. But for now, into the metropolis that is Tbilisi. Let's go. Hey, so that boat's on the hill there. It's the Chronicles of Georgia monument, which is what we've come to see. But still got a bit of a climb to do. Well, there's Tbilisi, folks. And here we are at the Chronicles of Georgia monument. What's all that about, Deb?
It's about the history of Georgia, basically. Into the carvings are half of them are all about history of Georgia, with representations of the kings and queens of Georgia, and the other half is all about the birthplace of Christianity.
And doesn't it look good?
Yeah.
folks, we've just arrived at our Airbnb for the next 10 days, Debs.
Yeah, 10 days.
Check it out.
You see the cat up in the window?
Yeah. Characterful, Debs.
Characterful, good area to work on the bikes, water.
Yeah, folks. Well, we've been in Tbilisi a couple of 3 days now, and it's a wonderful city. Really good city. I mean, as usual, we haven't filmed it on the GoPro, but have a look at the blog for some pictures. But from a cyclist point of view, we've kind of hit the end of the road. And we kind of suspected this might happen when we left England. Azerbaijan's borders shut. They keep saying they're going to open them, but they haven't done. We never got our Chinese visa sorted, and things are getting very hot in the stands. So whichever way we get out of the Tbilisi and out of Georgia, we're going to have to get a plane. Where are we going to go, Debs?
Well, we haven't quite made our mind up. We've got a few options. Japan, or we could get back to South America and finally finish third time down there. South Korea, Australia, Southeast Asia. We just keep changing our mind. We probably need a bit of help with making the decision.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows where we're going to go? We can't go back to Turkey because we've used our time up. We're not going north to Russia. Azerbaijan's shut. But what we have got in here, let's have a look at the Airbnb. I mean, the surroundings are fantastic. The city's great. But what we have got, 2 bike boxes. There they are. Look at those. I don't know, Debs. I just don't know. The pads, I kind of feel like it's been bugging us that we haven't finished South America.
Yeah, I think we're definitely committed to finishing our journey, and we've got countries we want to see. It's not going to be quite as we originally planned.
But look what happens when a cycle tourist gets a roof. What a mess. What a mess. Look at this. Look at that.
You just spread everything out as you can. You don't have to put it away.
All right. So wherever we end up going, it's going to be by plane. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out what happens next.